Hi, good morning. Here I am. I'm in the Govinda Kunda, actually. That's the temple you see in the background, which is located in Nabadwip or West Bengal. And it's a temple that is located over the water. It's one of the main temples of this complex of temples, which is called the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And this is one of the most important and religious religious places for the Hare Krishnas or the Vaishnavas. Of a specific arm of the Vaishnavas, and that's where I've been actually living in the past 2 weeks. Actually, this big temple you see, this big building you see in the back, that's where I've been living. It has been by one of the gurus, and it's actually only foreigners can actually stay there. The little temple you see over there on the left side is actually one of the temples for the Lord of Shiva, and Shiva, according to the Hare Krishnas, is a semi-god, but also is one of the perfect devotee or the perfect disciple of Krishna, and that's why they also worship it here. And I have to say, as you can see, it's actually also 6 in the morning, the sun is already out, and I'm sweating like a pig because it's probably about 30 degrees. I have to say it's been very warm in the past few weeks here, and temperatures have been reaching easily 40 degrees, and they say it's one of the hottest, or it's not the hottest summer in the last 50 years in India. There's actually people have been dying, unfortunately, in the southern states of the east. And as you can see, everybody will actually be suffering from these heat waves. And it's so hot that basically between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, everybody goes to home, or they stay or take a nap or something, because it's so hot that it's impossible to do anything. But nonetheless, there's actually an arm of the Ganges, or the Ganga, they call it here, which is actually not far from here. It takes only about 5 minutes to walk there, and basically every afternoon I try to go there. I go with different devotees. There's actually a lot of Venezuelan devotees, so it's been great. I've been feeling almost like home, speaking most of the time Spanish, I have to say. And apart from that, living in this temple complex, this has been a great experience. It's actually been quite intense, especially in the first week. I was trying to adapt with this jet lag and time change, plus the heat, which was incredible, about almost 40 degrees every day, and I was like, feeling like I was explode sometimes. My head, I couldn't basically not do anything, feeling very lazy. But now I have to say that I've been actually adapted to this weather. I like it very much. And to temple life, you normally wake up early and you do service during the morning, and there's actually also 3 main prasadams where you actually eat what is called and the food that's been offered to the deities. So you have one in the morning for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they say that this prasadam, which you eat, and they've been offered, as I said, to the deities. And after they've been offered to the deities, you actually are allowed to eat them. And they say by eating this food that's been offered to the gods, you actually get closer into the consciousness or into the spiritual path. So that's why the gurus, they recommend and the people who are not being initiated to actually come here and to different temples around the world also, and eat this prasadam, which actually will open somehow your heart and your mind to this consciousness of Krishna. In order to eat, you actually have to use your right hand, as you can see, this one. And I have to say, I love very much this custom of eating with your hands, because it allows you to be closer to the food, and I don't know, you get to touch the textures and also the temperature, so you can actually see how hot it is before you put it in your mouth. And actually, I think it's one of the things that I like the most. And of course your hands get dirty, but then you just wash it away and it's no problem. Another custom that I've learned is you have to actually use the other hand, the left hand, to wipe up your ass. And I know that it might sound weird or disgusting, but actually, they say here they're actually even cleaner this way, and I think they're quite right, because by using water to wash your ass, you're actually eliminating all the residues of the shit you have done. And actually say Westerns, they don't know how to clean, because what they do is in Western countries, or like we normally do in most of societies, we use toilet paper. And by using toilet paper, we're just rubbing this shit around our asses, so we're actually not really getting rid of it. And that's why in India, they actually use your left hand to wipe up your ass. And I have to say, it's a custom that I have to say I like very much. It allows you to stay cleaner, and it's no problem. You just wash your left hand afterwards, and it's no problem. But you have to learn that if you should not use your left hand to greet people, to take food, or to offer something to somebody. That's why you have the right hand. And apart from that, I have to say some of the things I've been doing here in the temple. And we normally, wake up early, and during the mornings you can do a lot of service. So you do service for God, and they say by doing the service to God you're not making any karma. And when I'm talking about karma, they said is the same law of action and reaction. So for every action you do, you get a reaction. But the service that you do for God, they create no reaction. And that's why you can actually advance in your spiritual path. And that's why they said if you do everything for the consciousness of Krishna, in this case, or name of the God, you'll actually not produce any more karma. And that's why you can actually will be able to transcend into the spiritual world. And apart from that, and there's also a couple of classes, one in the morning and one in the evening, where you can attend and you can learn a little bit more about the Hare Krishna consciousness. There's also 3 main ceremonies. One happens in the morning, after middle of the day, and afternoon, which are called Arati. I've been to some of them, but not the ones in the morning because they're extremely early. They start like at 4 o'clock. So I haven't managed to wake up that early to go to the devotional services at the time. But nonetheless, there are ones that are quite nice because they go and there's most of the Vaishnavas which are around the temple. They go there and they sing and they play different instruments and they sing these Sanskrit songs that are talking about the gurus and Hare and the Krishna Lord. Apart from that, there's also, as I said, the prasadam. As I said, you eat these 3 times a day. And apart from that, between more or less after the lunch prasadam, which is ending around 1 o'clock, until 4, it is so hot that normally at that time of the day you just go home and you just stop doing anything, and you just go to your room or you just stay around trying to cool yourself down because it's really hot. And yeah, that's one of the times where most of the things they stop also in the leader of the town, which is called Paramatala. It's not far from here. And as I said, I've been staying here for almost 2 weeks. I've been learning a lot about the Hare Krishna consciousness. A lot of the devotees that explain me a lot about the pastimes of the different deities and what they have done, and I've really coming closer. And some of them they even have tried to actually or recommend me to take initiation, but I have to say I'm not feel ready. I like the philosophy, but it's also very personalistic, and I said that there's a lot of about this. I would say kind of like mythology thoughts behind it. It's not mythology they say, but for me, and I like a philosophy which is less personalized, which is less about the gods and what they have done, and which is I would say I'm looking for a spirituality where you can develop yourself in your inner self, which will create this connection with the universe, with this higher spirits and everything, and will allow you to maybe make the next steps and then be able to transcend and don't come back and be reborn in this body anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm still looking. I'm gonna keep going around and let's see where it takes me in India. One of the things they also say, in order to take initiation, the first initiation for the Hare Krishnas, there's actually 4 principles that you should not do. And these principles are: you should not eat meat, you should not do drugs, any kind of drugs, you should not have sex with anybody, or unconscious, or not unconscious sex, but in the sense that you just fuck around. And you should not gamble. And these 4 principles, they are required, or they actually try to advise that the people who are going to be initiated, they should not do them. But it's not mandatory. So some of them, they do take initiation and they might do one of them. For example, they might still drink or smoke, or I don't know, they might gamble a couple of times, or they might eat sometimes meat. They are allowed to take initiation nonetheless, but they say it's better if you actually don't do these 4 principles. And I have to say maybe 3 of them I still do. So that's why I don't feel ready to take initiation. I'm not sure if I will take initiation one day, but nonetheless, being here and getting close to these people have allowed me to learn a lot about their philosophy and their way of life. And I have to say they're really great people. They're very friendly. They are very open, and they're very true devotees. So they really worship God in a lot, and they try to do everything in their name. And this is something that I have to learn, to appreciate. That not faith, don't call it faith, and they call it more worshiping in a way, which allows you to develop a different habit in your life, a spiritual habit in a way that makes you feel more humble in a way, because you bring this sense of there's something greater in your life, bigger than your life here. well, that's about it for these past 2 weeks. I'm gonna be going soon to the Himalayas to start my yoga teachers training course. I'm actually very excited because of that. I'm sure it will open even more doors and more paths and more process will happen inside of me. And this is just, I'm trying to record a little bit of the things that I've been doing here, and I hope you also enjoy my impressions and you get to see how I'm doing. And as you can see here, I'm actually wearing completely white, as you can see. And most of the people here, they try to, if you're a devotee or live in the temple, you're supposed to be kind of like pure in a way, and that's why it's nicer if you can actually adapt to the customs and you wear white clothes. I'm wearing a kurta, which is a typical Indian shirt, and a white jogging pants, and they're very comfortable, and and also the white color allows you to don't die because of the heat wave, because it reflects a lot of the sunlight and it actually helps you to stay warm. It's everything made of cotton, so it's very light and also very fresh. But you will normally get it completely wet during the whole day, and it's very common to stay basically. You go to bed sweating and you wake up sweating, so basically the whole day you're covered with sweat. So I've adapted here. I have to say the past few weeks have been very hard, especially because of the extreme heat and plus the jet lags. But now I have to say I have adapted quite well and I'm enjoying very much, and I hope to tell you more about my trip here in India. Bye.